Hey there. I just noticed you weren't following me on Twitter. It greatly offends me because you watch the show all the time, and I put in a lot of work on Twitter, so I'd really appreciate if you did. It's at James Yoder on Twitter. I'm going to give shout-outs. I'm going to incentivize you guys. I'm going to force you to do it. It's Twitter mandate is what it is. Follow me at James Yoder. The next 10 people who follow me, new followers only, and at me in a tweet, just let me know you watch the show, new follower, whatever. I'm going to give you shout-outs on a show here coming up in a couple days. So next 10 people to follow at James Yoder. If you don't, by the way, I might just put a Twitter mandate on all future YouTube videos. We'll see what happens. Mandate's a big topic here in the country. We have got 4 burning questions that everybody wants to know the answers to on this Michigan football team coming up right now. I'm your host, James Yoder, here in the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. I've aggregated all the tweets out there in the Michigan football Twitter sphere, and I've been getting all the articles, etc. What are people talking about? What do people want to know about this team that's looked very impressive over the last 3 weeks? And I'm going to attempt to answer them the best I can, but we've got a game Saturday coming up. I want to make sure you guys know the information for it. It is homecoming in Ann Arbor, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC at Michigan Stadium. The fourth of 4 home games to start the year for this Wolverines team. They're 19-point favorites over Rutgers. What a big spread over a Big Ten favorite. Remember, they were less than that, a favorite against that in the opener against Western Michigan. So how much has changed in 3 weeks? The over-under on this one is 51.5. Stay tuned here in about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to tell you how you can bet on this game and get a free Michigan football jersey from us here at Chat Sports. Burning question number 1. Who is running the offense? All right, everybody seems to have their opinions out there, and the standard blog boy answer is like, well, Josh Gattis just must have figured it out in one offseason, but I don't know so much about that. Let's take a look at the biggest impact on the offensive coaching staff, though. Mike Hart, Matt Weiss. Now, Matt Weiss is brought in as the quarterback coach, although if you look at his track record, he's not a quarterback's coach. He ran offensive analytics for the Baltimore Ravens for the past few years, and that's really what Jim Harbaugh brought him in to work on, was offensive game planning, offensive strategy, and in a lot of ways, and some people have said this, even Northern Illinois' coach said this the other day, is that Michigan's offense looks a lot like the Ravens did, obviously without the Lamar Jackson aspect of it. So I think Mike Hart and Matt Weiss's impact on this offense is obvious, right? The running backs, they're running like Mike Hart, okay? I haven't seen a Michigan running back be patient in the backfield and hit a hole. And maybe you see that Donovan Edwards touchdown, his first one. He kind of was going at 5% speed for the first couple seconds, saw the hole, exploded for a 60-some-yard touchdown on that one. So I think what Mike Hart's bringing to the table from running backs coaching, sorry, Jay Harbaugh, you just didn't get it done, has really proved to be successful. And Matt Weiss, more of a game planner than a quarterback's coach. I think Jim Harbaugh's probably given more feedback on the quarterbacks. Not really much quarterbacks coaching need to going on lately. Michigan's barely throwing the ball. Nevertheless, the number 1 rushing attack in America in college football, 335 against Western Michigan, averaging 7.8 per carry, 343 against Washington, 6.1 per carry, and then another 378 against Northern Illinois. What was the number there? 7.8 yards per carry. Exciting to see, right? Last few years for Michigan football, you've been typically just used to seeing them at the bottom half of all offensive stats. And Mike Hart and this man right here, Matt Weiss. I think there is potentially something to be said that Matt Weiss, Michigan's new quarterbacks coach, could be the shadow offensive coordinator for this program. Why do I say that? Well, he's making the 3rd most amount on the entire staff as a first-year guy. He's making obviously less than Gattis, obviously less than Mike Macdonald, but significantly more than he made with the Ravens last year. John Harbaugh, Jim's brother, told him, hey, this is your guy to get your offense set up and going straight. And Sharon Moore was promoted to co-offensive coordinator with Gattis. In my opinion, that makes Gattis kind of demoted. This ain't speed and space, right? Everything I'm seeing looks like a team that you would have expected from Jim Harbaugh 6 years ago with the 49ers, 7 years ago, whatever it was, or 10-plus years ago with San Francisco. So I don't think this is Josh Gattis' offense. I think certainly Josh Gattis is still getting paid like an offensive coordinator, but I think Mike Hart's running back tutelage and coaching, and then Matt Weiss's offensive game planning is really what's driving the force here. I wouldn't be surprised if we find out later on in the year that Josh Gattis really wasn't calling any plays. At the end of the day, they're all giving their opinion, and Jim Harbaugh is ultimately calling the plays for this team, at least through the first 3 games. The Wolverines, Michigan is 3-0 against the spread this year. If you put money on them every single game like I didn't, you would be raking in the cash. I hope you did if you haven't. If you haven't yet, and if you haven't bet on any games, get going with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. They're offering a 125% deposit bonus. Go to chatsports.com/GoBlue. Get started with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Make sure you use that URL, chatsports.com/GoBlue, to use the promo code GoBlue. If you do both of those things, email us, jersey@chatsports.com. Just maybe, we'll ask you for some information, but you can preempt it by just saying, hey, here's my BetUS account number, and you got to place a bet. So once you get going, make your first deposit. Once you place a bet, we're going to give you a Michigan football Jordan brand jersey, but don't go looking to BetUS to redeem it. We're going to send them to you. I got a stack of Michigan football whites and blues sitting behind my desk waiting to ship out to you. So email jersey@chatsports.com for new BetUS customers, and you've got to use that URL, chatsports.com/GoBlue. It's the only way we can track whether you're being legit or not, and if not, it causes a lot of headaches here around the administration department at Chat Sports. Next up, question number 2, was Don Brown really that bad? Because Michigan's first-string offense, outside of garbage time touchdown, defense outside of garbage time TDs, has only given up 3 points, 7 points, 3 points in their 3 games. 3 touchdowns in garbage time. I don't really put that against first-string defense. They weren't in there. But Don Brown's at Arizona with Jed Fish right now. Arizona is 0-3, losing to BYU, San Diego State, and Northern Arizona on Saturday night. How about this one? San Diego State, who coaches them? Brady Hoke. Don Brown gave up 38 points to Brady Hoke. You got to be kidding me. That is unforgivable. Don Brown should have been fired after the debacle in Columbus in 2008. Jim Harbaugh kept him around for 2 more years. I don't know why the hell he did, but I'm going to talk more about Don Brown and this defense here in a second. Before I do, please subscribe to the channel. We are inching closer, have added about 150 subscribers in the past 3 or 4 days. Want to get to 15,000 by the end of this month. It's disappointing me. I go to my bed at night like, gosh, Steve Dees, how do you add like 4,000 subscribers in June and July? Might be bots. People are talking. I won't say that about him, but nevertheless, I'm trying to catch him. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the show and if you want a Michigan football video every single day of the week. All right, let's talk more about this Michigan football defense. In my opinion, the defense right now seems much simpler, and it's not leaving guys out on an island like it used to with Don Brown. He would blitz all the time, and then the cornerbacks, they were put on an island. If they were able to have great coverage skills like they were in 2016, 2018, etc., that's great for Michigan, even 2017 in some regards. If not, like you had last year, new corners, Ambry Thomas sat out that weren't ready for the big time. Michigan just gets torched. 300 yards here, 300 yards there by opposing quarterbacks, including Rocky Lombardi. Dropped 300 plus and 3 touchdowns last year with Michigan State. Could barely complete a pass against this Mike Macdonald defense. This year, I think it's a much better game plan. Disguise the defense. I didn't see as much UFO defense like I coined this past week, but this defense is much more simpler, and it is much more effective, right? You're not getting the big plays and sack numbers that Don Brown would put out sometimes. But I can't see anybody who said outside of 2016 and for a stretch in October of 2018 that this defense doesn't look at least more effective against what we're going to see against Wisconsin coming up in a little less than 2 weeks. Ohio State, obviously, later in the year, their freshman running back put almost 300 yards up. Penn State's looking good. Obviously, Michigan State's running attack is looking good. That Don Brown defense that he's run the last few years would have got shredded by those upcoming offense. So I think it's much simpler for these players to understand, and it's putting Michigan's best players, Daxton Hill, Aiden Hutchinson, in a better position to make plays. Question number 3, number 3 of 4. What do we make of Jim Harbaugh's rebirth? He looks like a whole new guy. I've said it. I'm calling him Slim Jim Harbaugh. He's lost about 40 pounds. Not wearing the old man glasses. His hair is not even any gray. I'm not saying he's dyeing his hair, but I'm not saying that. But here's my theory on this topic. Everywhere Jim Harbaugh's gone, year 1, year 2, they take off like a rocket ship out of this missile fuel across the world. They come in, everything changes. Even at Stanford, where they went from like 0-12 to 4-8, 5-7, you saw the improvement. They beat number 1 USC, 49ers, 13-3 first year, NFC title game, Super Bowl, NFC title game. Michigan had him number 2 in the country by week 5 in his second season at Michigan. But by year 4, it was starting to taper off, and obviously year 5, year 4 it was good, but Ohio State, boom. Year 5, kind of a shaky year. Wisconsin dominated him. Year 6, absolute disaster. Jim Harbaugh retooled almost his entire staff this offseason, got rid of all his recruiting people, Matt Dudek down to Mississippi State. And my thoughts, my opinions here, are is that Jim Harbaugh just kind of smacked his hands together and said, new job. Let's attack, let's attack it with enthusiasm unknown to mankind. And it feels like that to me. It feels like a different team. I don't know how Jim Harbaugh has done it in last game was in December. So we're talking about 9 months. He has completely transformed what this program looks like. Crazy stat. In the second quarter of the game, the third game of the year against Northern Illinois, Michigan already had more rushing yards than they did all of last season in 6 games. So kind of wild to think about. I think Jim Harbaugh is treating this like a brand new job and a brand new program. It's just Michigan, trip number 2 for him in that role. Make sure you guys, though, and I remind you one more time, talk about it at the beginning of the show. Follow me on Twitter at James Yoder. Might mandate it soon enough, but it's going to be optional for you guys. But I want to give shout-outs to the next 10 people who do. Follow me at James Yoder, and then make sure you at me in a tweet so I know you came from the show. You're not just some random follower on Twitter. And I will give shout-outs to the next 10 people who do so on a show later this week. All right, question number 4. This seems to be a hot topic. I did not like the fact that Donovan Edwards was getting snaps in the second quarter of the game. It actually led to a fumble on one of those plays. Obviously, Michigan recovered, didn't stifle the drive. But nevertheless, people want to know more or less snaps for J.J. McCarthy and Donovan Edwards, Michigan's 2 probably biggest recruits in this freshman class right now. Take a look at J.J. McCarthy's stats versus Northern Illinois. 4 of 6, 42 yards. No touchdowns, long of 18. Nothing too special. But with Michigan's offense and how they're turning Cade McNamara into what I would call more of a game manager, I think it's kind of troubling to me that they haven't given J.J. McCarthy at least one series with the ones earlier in the game. I said after the Washington game, maybe you should give J.J. McCarthy against Northern Illinois the full second quarter. Now, Michigan gave him the second half. Nevertheless, I think we need to see more McCarthy, obviously, and we'll talk about here, less, take a look at the stats for the running backs, less Donovan Edwards. I did not like how they put Donovan Edwards in the game early on. I think Hassan Haskins, and certainly Blake Corum, have proven themselves to be capable running backs who make big-time plays, get the ball in the end zone. What was that? 7 touchdowns between these 3 guys, 9 carries, 56 yards for Haskins, 13 for 125 for Donovan Edwards, the number 3 rusher in America. And then Donovan Edwards, 2 touchdowns in his first time in the end zone at Michigan Stadium, 8 carries, 87 yards. So more yards, 1 less carry than Hassan Haskins. I don't think it's a good move to get back to what really hurt Michigan last year. Because you had 5 running backs last year who Michigan tried to rotate in there, obviously, plus these guys, and you had Zach Charbonnet and Chris Evans and one other player who I'm missing now. Obviously, Donovan Edwards was not on the team yet. So less Edwards, more McCarthy is what I am going for with these 2 superstar freshmen. Maybe they're not the guys for another 2 years. They may be backups next year. Maybe in 2023, they are the stars of the team. But I think Michigan's got something good going on with the running back crew. But I do want to maybe see what J.J. McCarthy can do. Certainly has a better arm than Cade McNamara. Looks the part. Looks like a potential future star if Michigan can develop him, which they've struggled to do with quarterbacks in the past. Last but not least, reminder, jersey at chatsports.com. Go to BetUS, jersey at chatsports.com. Email us for your jersey once you get started with these guys. I'll toss it on the screen one more time, producer, chatsports.com/GoBlue. You have to use that link. Just type it into your browser. Don't just go to BetUS and think you can get the deal. That's the only way they track this jersey offer. Use promo code BLUE when you deposit. Put 100 in, you get a free jersey plus 125% deposit bonus. Have 125 sitting there, but be a big baller. Put 300 in, you get 375 plus the jersey in bonus money. 400, what is that? 5? It's $500 in bonus money. Okay, do it. Chatsports.com/GoBlue. We'll be shipping out jerseys in a matter of days after you get going, and email us at jersey@chatsports.com. I'll be back with the Michigan football mailbag tomorrow. Until then, go Blue.